Your bank is paying you 4.5% on your savings right now, but the US government is literally offering you more. So why is almost nobody talking about this? I ran the actual math on $10,000, $25,000, and $100,000. And the difference? It's not what you'd expect. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one puts more money in your pocket, based on your specific situation. Let's go. Okay, so here's the situation most of us are in right now. You've got some cash sitting somewhere, maybe an emergency fund, maybe money you're saving up for a house, whatever. And you're trying to figure out, where do I park this thing so it's actually working for me? Two options keep coming up: high yield savings accounts, or T-bills and treasury bonds. Both are super safe. Both are paying decent rates right now. And on the surface, they look almost identical. But there are real differences in the math, in the tax treatment, in the flexibility, and those differences add up to real money. So I want to break it all down honestly, without any bank sponsorship or broker agenda, just the numbers. Let's start with high yield savings accounts, or HISAs. These are just regular savings accounts, except instead of the 0.01% your big bank pays you, online banks are offering somewhere in the range of 4.0% to 5.0% APY right now. They're FDIC insured up to $250,000. Your money's accessible anytime, and setup takes like 10 minutes online. The catch? The rate is variable. That means the bank can change it whenever they want. And they do. Every time the Fed cuts rates, your HYSA rate follows. Marcus Bank has changed their rate over 20 times in the last 2 years. That's not a complaint. It's just how it works. So you're getting a competitive rate today, but there's no guarantee of what you'll get 6 months from now. Now let's talk about treasuries. When you buy a treasury security, you're literally lending money to the US federal government, and they pay you interest in return. There are a few types. T-bills are short-term, anywhere from 4 weeks to 1 year. T-notes go from 2 to 10 years. T-bonds are 20 to 30 years. For this comparison, we're mostly focused on T-bills, the short-term ones, because that's where people are actually choosing between this and a savings account. Right now, 3-month T-bills are yielding around 5.1% to 5.3%. 6-month bills? Similar. 1 year? Slightly lower depending on when you're watching this. You buy them directly at treasurydirect.gov, minimum $100. No broker fees, no middleman. Here's the key difference from HYSA. The rate is locked in at the time you buy. So if you buy a 6-month T-bill at 5.2%, that's what you get, so even if rates drop. Okay, this is the part of the video that actually matters. Let me show you 3 scenarios, and I'm going to walk through every single number so nothing's hidden. Scenario 1, $10,000 for 12 months, HYSA at 4.8%, APY, $10,000 times 4.8% equals $480 in interest. 1-year T-bill at 5.1%, $10,000 times 5.1% equals $510 in interest difference, $30. Not huge, right? But hold on, we haven't talked about taxes yet. The tax angle. This is where it gets interesting. HYSA interest, taxed at both the federal and state level as ordinary income. Treasury interest, taxed at the federal level as ordinary income OM. Treasury interest, taxed at the federal level only. It is completely exempt from state and local taxes. So if you live in a state with income tax, California, New York, Illinois, that changes the math significantly. Let's say you're in the 24% federal bracket and your state has a 6% income tax. Your effective tax on HYSA interest is 30%. On Treasury interest, it's just 24%, no state tax. After-tax comparison on $10,000, HYSA, $480 interest times 1 minus 0.30 equals $336 after tax. T-bill, $510 interest times 1 minus 0.24 equals $387.60 after tax. T-bill wins by $51.60 on just $10,000. Scenario 2, $50,000 HYSA after tax, $1,680. T-bill after tax, $1,938.
Difference, $258.
Scenario 3, $100,000. HYSA after tax, $3,360. T-bill after tax, $3,876. Difference, $516 per year, just from parking your cash in the right place. And remember, in Wijim, if you're in a higher state tax bracket, like California at 9.3%, that gap gets even wider. The math doesn't lie. If you have a meaningful amount of cash parked for 6 to 12 months, treasuries likely put more in your pocket, especially if you're in a high tax state. Now, before you go all in on T-bills, there are a few things I want you to know that most videos leave out. Number one, liquidity, HYSA, your money's there tomorrow. T-bills, if you buy a 6-month bill and you need the money in month 3, you have to sell it on the secondary market. You'll probably still get close to face value, but it's a step. Not a deal breaker, but worth knowing if this is truly your emergency fund. Number 2, the rate lock is a sword that cuts both ways. Locking in 5.2% is great if rates drop. But if rates rise after you buy, your HYSA adjusts up automatically, and your T-bill stays at 5.2%. So in a rising rate environment, HYSA wins that round. Number 3, FDIC versus backed by the U.S. government. HYSA is FDIC insured, protected up to $250,000 if the bank fails. Treasuries are backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, considered the safest investment on earth. For most people, both are essentially risk-free, but technically, treasuries win here. Number 4, setup friction. TreasuryDirect.gov is not pretty. It works, but the UI is like something from 2003. Some people find it annoying. HYSA at Marcus or Alley is a much smoother experience. All right, let's make this simple. Use this framework. Choose HYSA if this is your actual emergency fund and you need instant access. You're in a low or no state income tax state, like Texas, Florida, Nevada. You think interest rates are going to rise and want to ride that up. You just want simple. One account. No thinking. Choose T-bills if you're in a mid to high state income tax bracket, 5% plus state tax. You have cash you won't touch for 3, 6, or 12 months. You want to lock in the current rate before any Fed cuts. You have $25,000, plus where that tax difference really adds up. The real answer for most people in 2024? Do both. HYSA for your 3 to 6 month emergency fund, T-bills for anything beyond that. The next chunk of savings you won't touch. That way you get liquidity and the better after-tax yield. There you go, Treasury bonds versus high-yield savings, the actual math, no fluff. If you found this useful, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are trying to make smarter moves with their money. And if you want to see the full breakdown of exactly how to buy T-bills step by step on Treasury Direct, I've got a video on that. Link in the description. Subscribe if you're new. We drop videos like this every week. And drop a comment. Are you Team HYSA, Team Treasuries, or are you doing both? I read every single one. See you in the next one.